You've probably wished for silence at some point today. Maybe the noise got too loud. Maybe the people got too much. Maybe you just wanted everything to stop for 1 minute. But there's a room in Minnesota where your wish would come true. Complete, total, absolute silence. No hum of electricity. No air moving through vents. No sound at all, not even your own heartbeat echoing back to you. Nobody has ever lasted more than 45 minutes inside it. The room is called an anechoic chamber. Engineers built it to test equipment. Scientists use it to measure sound. And occasionally, they let people walk inside just to see what happens. What happens is disturbing. Within minutes, people start hearing things that aren't there. Within 20 minutes, most people feel genuine panic. Within 45 minutes, the human mind begins to fracture at the edges in ways that are difficult to explain and impossible to forget. We spend our entire lives trying to escape noise, but the moment we actually succeed, something inside us breaks. Why? And what does that tell us about what silence actually is? The anechoic chamber at Orfield Laboratories in Minneapolis is the quietest place on Earth. It holds the Guinness World Record. The background noise level inside measures negative 9.4 decibels. To put that in context, a normal quiet bedroom sits around 30 decibels. A library is 40. The inside of this room is so quiet it doesn't just remove noise. It removes the concept of noise entirely. The walls are built from 3.3-foot thick fiberglass acoustic wedges. The floor is a suspended mesh. The room sits on 6-inch thick concrete inside another concrete room. Sound doesn't just die in there, it gets eaten. Stephen Orfield, the founder, used to charge journalists to sit inside it in the dark. None of them made it past 45 minutes. Here's what happens to your body the moment you enter. First, you notice the obvious things disappear. Traffic, wind, the low electrical hum that follows you everywhere in modern life. Through your house, your office, your phone, gone. Then you notice something strange. You can hear yourself, not in the normal way. You can hear your lungs filling with air. You can hear the blood moving through your ears. You can hear the faint mechanical clicking of your joints when you move. Your own body becomes the loudest thing in the world, and your brain does not like this at all. Here's what nobody tells you about silence. Your brain was never designed to process it. From the moment you were born, your nervous system has been using sound as a constant reference point. Sound tells your brain where you are in space. It tells you what's behind you. It tells you whether you're safe. It tells you that the world outside your skull is real. Remove sound completely, and your brain does something terrifying. It starts making its own. This is not a metaphor. This is not psychological. This is a measurable, documented neurological event. In the absence of external sound, your auditory cortex, the part of your brain that processes hearing, begins generating signals with nothing to process. It turns up its own sensitivity trying to find something, anything to latch onto. And when it finds nothing, it invents. In 2012, a team of researchers at the University of Oregon studied what happens to the brain in extreme quiet. What they found reframed everything scientists thought they knew about sensory deprivation. The brain doesn't go quiet when the world goes quiet. It gets louder. Participants reported hearing tones that weren't there, low hums, high-pitched ringing, rhythmic pulses. Some described hearing voices, not words, just the shape of voices. The auditory cortex, starved of input, was essentially hallucinating. And this wasn't the strangest part. In 1954, neuroscientist John Lilly invented the sensory deprivation tank. Warm water, total darkness, no sound. He designed it to study what the brain does when stripped of all external input. He climbed in himself to find out. What he found disturbed him enough that he spent the next 2 decades trying to understand it. Within an hour, his brain began producing vivid, structured hallucinations. Not random noise. Fully formed visual scenes. Other places. Other people. An internal world so detailed and coherent that the line between it and reality began to dissolve. He wasn't going crazy. His brain was doing exactly what it was built to do. In the absence of reality, it was generating one. Because here's the thing your brain never told you. It is always doing this. Right now, as you watch this, your brain is not showing you the world. It's showing you its best guess about the world, built from sensory data streaming in from your eyes, your ears, your skin. Reality, as you experience it, is a construction, a very good one, updated constantly, but a construction. Silence tears away the update feed, and without it, the construction doesn't stop. It just starts pulling from somewhere else. Think about the last time you sat in complete quiet, really quiet. No phone, no music, no background noise. Most people can't do it, not because quiet is unavailable, because they won't let it happen. The average person now spends less than 3 minutes per day in genuine silence. We fill every gap: podcasts while walking, music while eating, scrolling while waiting. Something, always something, feeding the auditory cortex so it never has to confront what happens when you stop. We call it entertainment. We call it staying informed. But some researchers have started asking a different question. What if we're self-medicating? What if the constant noise consumption isn't about enjoyment at all, but about keeping the brain just distracted enough that it never turns inward? Because here's what the anechoic chamber data actually shows. The hallucinations people experience in total silence aren't random. They tend to follow emotional patterns, old memories, unresolved fears, the things you've been too busy to think about because you've been too busy listening to everything else. Silence doesn't break the mind. It shows you what was already broken. We built the noisiest civilization in the history of the species. We carry speakers in our pockets. We pipe sound into our ears the moment we wake up. We have engineered a world where true silence is almost impossible to find. And when we do find it, we can't survive it for more than 45 minutes. Maybe that's not a coincidence. Maybe the noise isn't accidental. Maybe we built it the same way every generation builds what it needs to survive what it's afraid of. The anechoic chamber is still there in Minneapolis. The record still stands. 45 minutes, not an hour, not 2. 45 minutes before the human mind begins looking for a way out of itself. You wanted silence today, but maybe what you actually wanted was for the noise to mean something different, because the silence was always there, underneath everything, waiting, and some part of you already knew that if it ever got too quiet, you'd finally have to hear it.